Thanks everyone for coming. Appreciate it short notice. As communicated earlier, following an investigation and submissions from Adelaide and Izak Rankine, including compelling medical submissions, Izak has received a 4-match sanction for using a homophobic slur towards a Collingwood opponent. The language used was offensive, hurtful and highly inappropriate. Importantly, this incident was called out by the players and ultimately acknowledged by Izak himself as wrong. Inclusion and respect are key priorities for the AFL. They are central to who we are as a game and as an organisation. I know people in the LGBTQI+ community are hurting when an incident like this occurs. One incident is one too many, and the fact there have been multiple incidents over the last 18 months shows there is still much work to do. Players get taunted, players get provoked, but when the line is crossed, there must be accountability, and in this instance, Izak is paying a significant price. But let me be very clear, this behaviour and language is not acceptable. I won't stand for it, and nor will our organisation or the broader industry. In light of this issue, I also want to address the recent commentary in the last couple of days around our grand final entertainment. We cannot vouch for every lyric in every song ever written or performed by any artist who has or will appear on our stage, Australian or international. But what I can say is our pre-match entertainment on grand final day will be family friendly and consistent with the audience at the MCG and those watching the broadcast. It is also important to remember that we have engaged Snoop Dogg in 2025 as the person he is today. He has spoken publicly about his past. He has changed, and today he's a grandfather, philanthropist, he helps rehabilitate youth, and he's a global entertainer who has performed at both the Super Bowl and the Olympic closing ceremony to audiences of more than 100 million people. In those environments, his performance was appropriate and well received, and his performance this year at our grand final will be fitting for the best sporting event in the country. Happy to take questions.
The timing of the incident, given that it's going to be the finals, does that have any bearing on your decision to hit it 4 weeks?
No, look, a game is a game, and that was what we took into account.
So if it happened around 5, you comfortably arrive at the same outcome?
Absolutely.
So why the difference? You've talked about the Jack Graham incident before. That was 5 down to 4 in some people's eyes because he self-reported. Why is it the same for Izak?
Look, there's a range of there's a range when we look at it, and we've had a number of instances in the last couple of years, and there's been in the AFL 3, 4 and 5 match suspensions. We look at the specific instances, and in this one there were submissions made, including compelling medical submissions that were taken into account when arriving at the sanction.
Can you talk about those medical submissions at all?
No.
Why did this whole process take so long, Andrew, in many people's eyes?
This is a really serious issue. And it's one we take seriously, and it has significant ramifications for the player and the club in the competition. We were advised by Adelaide on Sunday night. There was an investigation and interviews on Monday leading into Tuesday. Provisional determination made late Tuesday. Adelaide and Rankine were then given the ability to make submissions in relation to that provisional determination. We received them late last night. They were considered today, and we've made the determination this afternoon.
Been expedited in a quicker way, do you think, Andrew, in any way, shape or form?
Look, as I said before, it's serious, and there's significant price to pay, and we've taken our time, or we've got to the outcome.
What was the main factor between 5 down to 4?
It was the submissions that were made, but and it was the compelling medical submissions, but I'm not going to go into the detail on that.
Was the ability to potentially play again this season?
No.
Are you prepared for what grand final week will look like if he's eligible to play, then lose the qualifying final and he gets there? It'll be a circus at the airport, the grand final parade. Are you prepared for this to dominate headlines for another week?
Look, I haven't thought through that, Mitch. What we've done is had an investigation, concluded that, received submissions, assessed them and come up with a sanction. And what will be, will be. But it's a significant sanction, and it's, as I said before, it's behaviour that's not acceptable. Izak's admitted that. Adelaide Crows have come out and made a statement on that, and I think that's the important part here.
So last year, Will Power gets 5 matches. Did he have the same ability to respond and submit like the Crows did? Were they given the same ability to push back like Adelaide were?
Well, there's there's a provisional determination, there's the ability to make submissions in relation to those provisional determinations.
Totally understand you can't talk about the compelling medical submissions, Andrew, but you understand the average footy fan might be watching this saying, well, it feels like there might be a cloak of secrecy if we just throw an all-in into significant medical submissions that we can reduce the ban.
Well, I think what we need to look at is, as we said in our statement, is that we look at all the circumstances around each of those incidents and they are in a range. But I think the important thing, and let's not lose sight of, this one incident is one too many and we've had multiple ones of them. So I don't want to be in a position where we can compare these going forward. And I think that's the bit that we want to focus on.
You referenced in your statement that you've still got a lot of work to do, given that we've had, was it 5 or 6 incidents since 18 months ago. Are you worried about that? Because you can't control as a league everything that gets said on the field. But given you've had so many, you worried that the message isn't getting through to players?
Well, I think what we have to do is continue to educate the players. We need to continue to work with the playing group on this. And I think, as I said, players get taunted, players get provoked, but there is a line, and that line has been crossed too many times.
How frustrated are you as the CEO of the AFL? This seems like a key pillar of yours that you've come into power and you've wanted to crack down on this. How frustrated are you with the number of incidents that there have been?
Oh, look, I think this has been a key pillar of what the AFL's been about for, long before my time here, and we've led the way on that. So it is disappointing. It's really disappointing. It's unacceptable and it's not good enough. And we want to work with the playing group, though, to eradicate it.
This sort of first got momentum after Jeremy Finlayson and Will Powell. Every time the AFL speaks, it talks about more education for players. How much more education would the players have done in 2025 than would have done leading into 2024? Like, have you got tangible evidence on how much education we've actually done?
The different education modules have been put in place, Mitch, but ultimately I think it's just continued awareness. But as I said, it's not good enough and it needs to stop.
Will you have a framework to think by the start of next year, so far, the incidences like this are so obvious that this is what you get first time around, second time around, third?
It's something that we've been working on the Players Association with. I don't really want to be working on that, though. Ultimately, wherever we end up, there will be ranges because there will be specific circumstances in every case and they'll have to be taken into account.
What would you say to the footy community who say that this is a negotiated settlement, that it's lasted over a number of days now? What would you say to the footy fan?
What I say to the footy fans is that this is something that we take really seriously, and Isaac's paying a significant price for behaviour that he's put his hand up and said was unacceptable.
Have you spoken to him as well, or have you been?
No, I haven't spoken directly to him.
So on a personal level, Andrew, like the AFL is one of the few codes in the country that still haven't had an openly gay footballer come out. These are the sort of questions you ask yourself when you come into resolutions like that, whether we're creating as an industry a safe enough environment on and off the field.
I think what we do want to have, Sam, it's a great question. We want to have safe and inclusive environments at our clubs, at our venues, at AFL House, and we'll continue, and that's something that's really important to me. I know it's really important to our staff. I know it's important to our clubs. I know it's important to our playing group, and again, we'll continue to work with our clubs and our players to make sure that our clubs and our environments are the best they can be so our people can be their best selves.
And you're confident that the outcome today sends that message strongly enough?
We'll have to continue to work on that, but yeah, it's a significant price that Isaac is paying.
But how many times can this happen before it's a hard and fast rule to make sure that it's a safe environment?
Well, we'll continue to work with the Players Association. I don't want it to happen again, and we'll continue to do that.
But does that not make it an unsafe place that stands for fans that maybe see this stuff unfolding?
I don't think it's an unsafe place, but we've got to continue to make our environments safer and more inclusive.
We've learned in recent days that this wasn't the first time that Isaac had an incident like this with Collingwood players. They warned him a few years ago and they didn't report it. Did that come into the consideration? Did that come into the process at all?
No, it didn't. No, and ultimately all we can act on is what's in front of us. And as I said, it's behaviour that's not acceptable. Isaac's owned up to that. The club have said that. It's a significant price that he's going to be paying.
So how much of the fact that he was provoked play into it?
Again, that was the submissions that were made by Adelaide in relation to the sanction. It was the compelling medical submissions that were important.
A couple more, crew.
All right, all good.
Thanks.
Andrew. Thanks, Andrew.